So, Lamblamb, thank you very much for taking a moment out of your day to interview me. So, yeah, so obviously you may or may not have heard.
Oh, I heard.
Oh, good, good. You may or may not have heard last night that Aunt Alice and Uncle Jerry were sued by old Mayor Jenkins and Paul Centerbeard for propaganda, misinformation schemes. Do you believe any of that to be true?
Well, first of all, no, I think it's completely false. Everything that the Democratic Party has been saying is completely false. You know that Aunt Alice and Uncle Jerry were spreading misinformation about their campaign. And none of it is false at all. Everything that they've been saying is true, down to the bone. That Paul Setterbeard, was ordering the deaths of I don't know thousands of people for I can't even count how many for not completing IXLs. That Shank Jenkins was ordering deaths. It wasn't really so much Paul Centerbeard. Shank Jenkins took care of the death part, but Shank Jenkins has been rigging the elections. But you gotta understand, Paul Centerbeard's the one who founded IXL Learning. He's the one who started all of this. And it's just like Bigsley Katz said in the interview that you had yesterday. At any point during his 25-year reign of terror, Paul Setterbeard could have said, you know what? This is wrong. I'm not going to do this anymore. But, he didn't.
Yeah, so yeah, Aunt Alice and Uncle Jerry, they were being sued for, spreading misinformation, telling lies, the lies that, basically it was everything that, the truth, everything that, Aunt Alice and Uncle Jerry have been saying, it was all true. People were, killing themselves because of the IXL massacre. And, there was a couple technical issues with the QIA workbooks back under George W. Bush's presidency. And keep in mind, this is stuff that only happened in this town and nowhere else. But under the Chadsworth administration that Leisure Poll had from 1990 to, the beginning of the pandemic, under the Chadsworth administration, he agreed with everything that Shank Jenkins did. And there's a possible theory out there that, Justin Chadsworth could be the alleged son of Shank Jenkins, the son that he possibly never had. And as a matter of fact, that's why he's moving out of America now, because now, they want him to get a DNA test. They want to, see if Justin Chadsworth is just an identity that they put up if he put up. But it's very possible because, they do look very similar. They look about the same, and they're about the same in height. I think Chadsworth is about 2 inches taller than his alleged dad, Shank Jenkins. But they do share a lot of the same political beliefs, and they're both Democrat politicians, and they served in the same state. So there's a lot politically. Not I don't well even genetically and politically, there's also a lot of evidence to support that Justin Chadsworth might be the possible son that Shank Jenkins refuses to tell the media he has. But anyway, the point is Uncle Jerry and Aunt Alice, they've been throwing out that rumor too. But you got to understand, CNN and CNBC, they'll go and say that stuff, and that's okay. That's okay for the public to hear. Fox News, they'll say that stuff. That's okay, when Fox News says it. But when Aunt Alice and Uncle Jerry say the exact same thing, and sometimes in almost the exact same words, now they're being sued for it.
That's absolutely true, and there's a wonderful explanation for it. Because the CNN, CNBC, even Fox News, they're all run the media. And who's our president? They are all run by the government. And last I checked, we live in a blue state, and under Biden's administration, we have a Democrat president, and we've had a lot of Democrat presidents. I think in the past 50 years, we had more Democratic presidents. I'm going to say about maybe 30 years, we have more Democratic presidents than Republican presidents. You can make the argument that George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, and Ronald Reagan, they were all our presidents. But, you look at Bill Clinton, you look at Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Barack Obama. These are all Democratic presidents. These are all Democrats. They all appeared at the DNC, and we're changing presidents about every 4 years. And meanwhile, you know, Shane Jenkins has been the same mayor for 50 years. He's been the mayor of New Roxville for 50 years. He was vice, and even under the Timothy administration, you're right. He was the one in charge. He was the one making all the executive decisions, but he couldn't do what he's doing now because, reminder, he was the vice mayor at the time under the Timothy administration, which I think Timothy was way too young, and I think the whole world agrees he was way too young to be the mayor of New Roxville. Way, way too young. But oh well, choices are choices. But anyway, back to what I was saying, the news is run by the government, and last we checked, we have a Democratic president. So they are going to do things and say things that tailor to and only to the Democratic Party. Whereas, so of course CNN's going to lie about the Republicans. Of course CNN is going to tell falsities and stuff about Aunt Alice and Uncle Jerry because they're telling the truth. And even if Aunt Alice and Uncle Jerry were Democrats, which they are not, they would have still been silenced because Aunt Alice and Uncle Jerry are the ones telling the truth. They're telling the truth because they literally live a town away from the IXL massacre, harbor, the IXL home, the home of IXL. And, when you really think about it, when you really do think about it, it's sad that IXL learning was, and the fact, what I mean to say is, but the fact that IXL learning was founded in California, which is the total state of the U.S., the fact that it was founded in California really just is the cherry on top of the cake, because who, for 30 years, was the senator of California? That's Kamala Harris. And it's terrible. And just to wrap this all up, I have had communications with some of Aunt Alice and Uncle Jerry's former students, and if there's one thing we can all agree, it's that Aunt Alice and Uncle Jerry treat their students very well, and we love Aunt Alice and Uncle Jerry. They are wonderful people.
Yeah, that has to be it. So I think it's safe to say that we can both agree that Aunt Alice and Uncle Jerry are in the right, and everything they've been saying is absolutely true, 100% true, everything they've been saying. All right. Anyway, thank you for doing this interview with me, Lamblamb. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man.
And those of you at home who just watched this interview, please click the link in the description. It will take you to the I Don't Excel website, not the IXL website, the I Don't Excel website. And at the top banner, there's a literal link to vote. If you haven't voted yet, please go vote. Time is running out, and we've only got 2 months left. And you can choose. It's either a war with Leisure Pole that we are going to lose, or we win back New Roxville and we make America great again. Thank you so much for watching this interview, and have a wonderful day.